So sometimes what can only be described as my urgent optimism does me a disservice because it actually blocks my ability to understand why I'm in such a bad mood that day. Why is my stomach in knots? Why is my heart racing? Because isn't everything awesome? Everything is awesome. Seconded only by, everything's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I always do try to look at the bright side, to see the glass half full, to take the win. I know I'm a little bit Pollyanna that way. And yeah, sometimes it might be to my detriment because I may not always see that bad shit coming. But you know what? I have just learned to accept her ways. But these days that I wake up with this anxiety and I can't figure out where it's coming from because I've put rose-colored glasses on so many things that sometimes I actually need someone to point out to me what I could possibly be completely freaking out about that I didn't consider. So it reminds me of when I had my first meeting with my therapist. And you know, as therapists do, and she specializes in ADHD, which is why I started seeing her. And she asked me about my childhood because that's where you begin, because that's the source of all that ails us, right? Every parent destroys their child in some way, shape, or form. It's what we do. But we don't always know as the parent what we have done, and the child doesn't always understand what they have internalized. And that's why therapists get paid the big bucks, okay? So they connect the dots. So, of course, we start with childhood. And my therapist said, so tell me about yours. I was like, oh, just uneventful, just normal, just, yeah, happy. I mean, yeah, good. I don't know that anything really stemmed from that. I remember saying those exact words. I don't know that any of my issues actually stem from that. Oh, fuck. And she looked at me. She's like, she gave me that, sure thing, Susie Q. I get that look a lot. And then as the session went on, and she's like, well, tell me specifically about A, B, and C. And it did. And then there was just this stunned silence. She basically gave me this look that said, yeah, we're going to keep Thursdays clear from now until eternity to sort out some of the shit that you just accepted as reality, as normal. Sometimes you have to have somebody look at you when you tell them that that's normal and they say to you, that's not normal. That's not normal at all. So I was feeling this anxiety one day and I could not put my finger on it. And I talked to my sister as I do every day. And I have a whole tribe of my support staff, basically unpaid, paid in love and in reciprocity for their bad day. And she said, well, do you think it might have to do with, that your kids are going through a rough time right now and you're kind of talking to them a lot and trying to get them through some stuff? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that could, sure. Yeah. She's like, well, didn't you tell me that, you're having kind of a slow month with work and you're a little bit anxious about that? I'm like, yeah, I mean, that could be it. What about the fact that you don't have a tenant and you said you absolutely needed to get one by January and it's almost March and you don't? I mean, sure, maybe that could be it. And what about just, maybe some of the political climate going around might be kind of affecting you a little, now that you mention it. Like, it's not that I don't care about any of these things. It's just that they go right into my soul. And then my brain is trying to protect myself from feeling that depth of angst and emotion. And so what happens? I just wake up one day with a stomachache and I don't know why. Sometimes meditation works. Sometimes just a really good cry does the trick. Doesn't even matter if I know what I'm crying about. And some days nothing works. And today was one of those days. So this was my plan. I just drove to the Home Depot and bought the biggest tarp I could find that I could fit in my studio. I just knew the only way to get through this feeling was to art with my whole frickin' body today. I wanted to see if I could actually recreate my floors on a tarp. And I didn't know if I could do it, but what if, right? What if I could actually keep doing my floors even though I've kind of run out of floors to paint? So I got this tarp with a plastic back. And spoiler alert, 2 paintings in one, man. It turned out so cool, but let's go back. So I just started pouring out the paint. No rhyme, no reason, just as big as a swoop as I could make and all the colors that were speaking to me today. Oh my God, I started feeling so good. all of a sudden, like my stomach kind of like unraveled. And then what came into my brain was how grateful I am for this dance of friendships and relationships that I am in right now. They are also rich in their own unique way. And it's almost like being in the middle of a dance. I mean, the dance of giving and taking and being really authentic with each other and giving each other space, but also calling each other out on our shit. Like, that's a real friend. You know, sometimes I don't feel like you're my friend unless we've had an argument. And I know a bunch of my friends right now are sitting there reading this going, oh shit. Do I have to get in a fight with Sue? Yes, you do. Or at least we have to have a disagreement, or we have to have some contentious something that deepens us to another level that says we can go here and then we can get back to here. Like, I do kind of believe in that, but you don't have to pick a fight with me necessarily. It'll come on its own. Just you wait. So I have this rich tapestry of these friendships right now that are so honest and so loving. And I found myself just naturally creating these giant, interlocking, overlapping arcs of color and texture. And as I was interweaving those arcs along with my stories and my emotions, it felt like a giant dance. For hours and hours and hours, I just got paint all over me, all over my feet, all over my hands, all over my studio, all over my floor. And I felt everything unravel. And I felt so good. And I felt like I was safe in a place where I could feel the sadness and feel the worry. I didn't have to push it away. I didn't have to push it down like a beach ball because it's just going to come back up again. But I could explore it with people who I respect and who would offer guidance and who would offer compassion. And that's what we all need. So that's what this tapestry is. It's just kind of interlocking swoops of thought, of friends, of space versus connection. And sometimes it's about the space in between us that feels safe, that you don't have to have that person in your constant vortex to feel their energy and their love, that they can go and be who they are and then come back to you. And you can go be who you are and come back to them without worrying that they're going to go away. Some of my best friends, I've never met people. I've never even met. And some of the people closest to me, I don't see that often. And then some of the people are in my vortex every single day, and I'm so grateful. So that's what this tapestry is. I would like to sell it now. It brought me joy. I want to do another one. I don't have room to stack all these up, so I'm going to list it for sale. I'll name it, or you can name it. I'll sign it. We can figure it out. We can make it smaller. We can make it, whatever you want to do. I'm not going to frame it. You're going to have to figure that out, but I'll ship it to you. And you can get some 2x4s and you can figure it out, or just hang it on the wall. I mean, like a tapestry. I think that would work too. Y'all want me to make another one? Okay. Do you want one for yourself? Do you want your own theme? Do you want to tell me a story? Ooh, that would be fun. Why don't you guys tell me a story? If you want to hire me to make one of these tapestries for you, I want you to share your story with me, and then I'm going to paint it out. I'm going to paint it out for you. I like that idea. Y'all ready? Let's do it.